Hi friends, welcome to Shine with Marilena Cortez and Mark Sedgwick. Today is another day to enjoy life and stay focused on the beautiful things that that surround you. Let's welcome Mark with the quote of the day.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. It's always a blessing to be here. We have before I say the quote, we have a guest here again. So she was on last week, and of course, as you guys may know, if you've seen the episode, she moved out to PT school. But she came home to visit. You know, she missed us too much, so she's back. So
I'm back. Hello.
Yeah, she's on it, and she's on the show. She's back and she's on the show. So the quote goes like this: "You can't stop life from happening, but you can do something about it. Life is 10%. Life is 10% what has happened to you, and 90% about what you do about it." Right. So, what do you think about that? I'm just going to ask you straight away. What do you think about that quote? What does that mean to you?
I think it's really valid because you don't really have a lot of choice about the things that happen to you and the outside effects that do happen to you, but you have the option of how you react to what happens to you. So I agree with it.
Yeah,
like
so the reason why we have us two on a camera and not her on the third camera this show is because we have another guest. His name is Daniel Ortiz. He's a wheelchair rugby athlete. Awesome to have you on the show, man.
Thank you.
So I just want to ask you, can you tell us a little bit about your story and, why you're here?
So I'm 22. I'm from the northwest part of Houston. I went to Climb Forest, graduated in 2014. Went to Lone Star Community College. I was a full-time student my first semester. My whole goal was to graduate in criminal justice. I wanted to be a cop, go to Sam Houston.
So why did you want to be a cop? Let's just start off with that question.
Just all the TV shows I saw, cops.
epic
yeah,
cops and all that good
my
stuff.
My cousin's a cop, so I've always wanted to do what they do. So
Yeah.
But while I was taking my normal classes, I didn't like all the requirements that you had to do. So I was on my laptop in the middle of a class, and I went onto the fire department website. And I was like, man, let me just volunteer and try this and see what it's like. So
you became a volunteer firefighter?
Yeah,
wow,
I volunteered
awesome.
where my brother works at part-time. Northwest Volunteer Fire Department. I was there. I went there the first week, and I came back like every week after. Fell in love with it. And then I was like, man, I don't want to go to college. So I just joined the fire academy.
Nice.
Got my EMT. And shortly after I joined the academy, I was on my way home one night. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was coming home from Whataburger, and I saw an accident on the other side of the road. So I stopped to help the lady as I was going to get back in my car.
Can I ask you a question? Because I've always been curious. I've heard your story before, but I've always wanted to know what inclined you to stop, to help? Because most people wouldn't even stop to help, right? They'd be like, oh, somebody will help them, or the cops will come help them. What made you stop?
Honestly, it was just like a reaction. Like I've always liked helping people, so it was just like a reaction for me to pull over and help and make sure that she was okay. So as I got done helping, I went to sit back in my car, and all I remember was waking up in the hospital.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard is that I just got hit by a truck from the back.
Like a 18-wheeler, or like a truck coming fast?
Ford, like a F-150.
Yeah.
Just a regular crew cab. And I just remember waking up in the hospital the next day, like, what's going on?
Wow.
And that's about it, really.
Yeah. So, okay. So, you've come a long way. I know that just from seeing you on the floor, doing the wheelchair rugby stuff. That's like really, man. You impressed me. Like I'm like, wow, man, this is truly inspiring. So, what I want to ask you, what kind of mindset did it take you to have to not dwell on the past? Not dwell on what happened, and to move forward and be like, what am I gonna do now? Right?
At first, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, first 6 months, I was like super depressed. In my head, I was like, I'd probably be better off dead.
Yeah.
I told my mom, like, I was in the hospital, like, why me?
Yeah.
Just the normal stuff. And then after, like, going to therapy for so long, you realize that you're not going to get any better just sitting at home. And so you kind of got to put the effort in. And it's up to you, ultimately, whether you want to get better or not. So
do you think you hit, like a point that, like, yo, I've been like, I'm depressed. This sucks, man. This event happened in my life, and was there a breaking point for you that like, man, I can't just be sitting here anymore. I got to do something. I got to try to make myself better than this. I can't just give up. I'm still here.
I started training with a friend of mine. A couple of buddies of mine started training me, just not for money or nothing. They just were helping me out.
Yeah.
They would help train me, and I kind of started like falling in love with just going to the gym again, because that's all I did before. So it felt like while I was there, everything kind of just disappeared. I didn't feel like I was in a wheelchair. I just felt like I was back to my old self.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with the gym. I just kept going and going, and then eventually, I found rugby. Well, it found me, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How? What do you mean?
So I was actually at a local 24-hour fitness by my house, and the coach of the rugby team at the time, Coach Randy, he had came up to me like while I was in the middle of a set. I was like, "Hey, you ever heard of murder ball?" And I was like, "Oh, here we go." I was like, "Yeah, I've heard of it." And he was like, "You should come out and play, and come out to a practice, see if you like it." And I was like, "Okay." In my head, I was just like, "Yeah," because the therapist told me about it, and I was like, "I'm not playing that. You're crazy."
Yeah.
And I told my dad, and he was like, "Well, just go. Come on. If you don't like it, you don't got to stay." So we went that one Thursday. They threw me in a chair, and I've been back ever since. So, and now I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love the energy you get from watching you guys play. Little did I know that I met you guys because of Alexis when she was going to volunteer through the University of Houston, and little did I know that then later I was going to battle cancer. But watching you guys, I was like, oh my God, like maybe God sent me there. God sent my daughter there too, so I can meet you guys. I get nothing but positive energy, positive vibes from each of you. And so I applaud you, because you're one of those warriors that is doing what you love, and putting all your energy and effort into something positive and something that's actually making you stronger. Because now you're stronger, right?
Physically
the
and
more
mentally,
you do
right?
it,
Oh yeah.
yeah, physically, mentally. So for me, it's like I had no excuse. I was gonna battle whatever my cards were at that moment. I was like, there was no excuse. But I just remember just thinking, wow, there's hope. There's hope. So God obviously wants you on earth for a reason. Probably you don't even know how many people you're inspiring along the way, how many people you are transforming their lives just because maybe they go there like you for the first time just to watch, and then they get all this energy.
Recently they've been bringing patients
Wow.
to watch us, and me being like the freshest out of my injury compared to all the guys on my team,
Yeah.
I kind of like connect with them because I see, what they're going through,
Yeah.
and I try to tell them like start playing a sport or doing something early as possible. And I say it'll make you stronger, it'll change your life, because you'll meet so many people.
That's right.
Like I've met Alexis, I met Mark, and just a lot of guys I've been in wheelchairs for so long that you learn like so many things from them, like just how to be independent. Like I probably would have never learned on my own. And you meet like a lot of people. It's like its own little community, its own little world.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like if you
yes.
see another person in a wheelchair, you probably know them. So
Oh yeah, I
pretty
love
cool.
it. And you know what? I applaud you because you took this next step. You didn't just sit there in the bed. I'm glad that you had this group of friends who got you kind of to go back into working out and doing some of the things that you wanted to do. I've been going through my a class that I go to for it's called Living Actively After Cancer. And I just learned yesterday that you must have a great support group when you go through anything in life. You have to have people that are cheering you up, somebody that is also going to be your buddy, that's going to literally lift you out of bed and force you to get up and do something. And then you also have to have the people that are going to, a group of people that you can also like connect with. And it seems like you did all of the right things, to connect with somebody that got you out of bed, somebody then the group that you ended up joining with the wheelchair rugby, and then all the amazing new friends that you guys have, the people's lives that you're transforming. Because like I said, I don't think you know how many lives you're touching and affecting, but you guys even inspire me, like some little old lady that was just coming to visit, watch, my daughter volunteer at the, what is the name of the center? Where you guys?
West Gray.
Yeah.
West Gray.
So hey, we have to go on a short break, but before we go, I want to mention a topic. Adding to that, hang out with people who can lift you up, hang out with people who are in the similar situation that you are in, right? But also, I want to talk about being patient, right? But we'll talk about that in a second. We'll be right back after the short break. See you guys in a second. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So before we left on the break, I wanted to talk about patience, and that being a huge part in, building, it's kind of like a marathon mindset, right? You got to be patient, and you got to be able to trust the process. So you were telling me about trusting the process. So I want to ask you, what does that mean to you, trusting the process and being patient?
Personally, to me, it just means like, wherever you're trying to go to or whatever your goal is, even though you might not, reach it right away the next day, eventually you'll get there, but, you're going to stumble here and there, but you can't get discouraged. So you just got to keep grinding, and then eventually you'll get where you want to be.
Yeah.
But if you let up, who knows what could happen.
You gotta be able to go through the ups and downs, right? But
Definitely.
then always have that bigger picture in mind, right?
Yeah.
Like, we can do this. We can, I want to be super strong, right? But I can't get there in one day. It's not
No.
going to happen. You got to lift weights every single day to build that slow strength, steady pace of just building strength. Slowly you see results. Slowly you build some muscle. Slowly you start getting a little stronger in the paint. For me, I play basketball, so that's that you just got to build that, right?
Yeah.
So
And it's kind
yeah,
of
go
hard
ahead.
too because it's just like you said, like you can't see those like monumental steps that you're making just because you're doing something every day and you see yourself every day.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I can't stress this enough. I met you 2 years ago. You were shy, didn't really care to talk to these volunteers that were coming in to help with this practice because people come in all the time, but watching you play and watching you push and following you on social media, and I hear from you like as a friend all of these things that you're doing outside of just what's expected of you. You're going above and beyond in your normal everyday lifestyle, and now you're pushing faster. You've gotten a lot more skillful in your chair, and hopefully what's really cool about playing wheelchair rugby is you don't play with the same teams every day or every week. It'll be maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months that you go sometimes without seeing these other teams. And what's cool is that they can see that in you. They say, hey, Daniel's pushing a lot harder than he was last time, and Daniel's getting more play time because now you've worked for it. So
Yeah, especially from this last tournament at U of H, from where I was last year, man, it's crazy.
Come a long way, right? But
Yeah.
it didn't happen overnight. That's
No,
the whole
definitely.
point of this concept of trusting the process, right? You got to be like, yo, man, Daniel came a long way, but they didn't see every day when you didn't want to wake up.
Yeah,
They
no.
didn't see the days that you struggled to get up. Fighting for the strength. Building slowly. They didn't see the process, but you yourself have to trust it, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So, next kind of thing I wanted to say is forgive, so you can move on. If you don't forgive in his situation, that person, that truck that hit him. If he's dwelling on that, man, I can't believe they hit me, man. At first he was frustrated maybe about that, but you can't always dwell on that forever. You have to forgive them, even if they didn't apologize to Daniel for hitting him. You have to forgiving it's for you. Right? You have to forgive that person for yourself, not for them. Because that resentment, I want to read this quote. Having resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Right?
I love that. Was so powerful.
Isn't that powerful?
It almost made me cry when I heard him say it
Steve
today.
Harvey. Steve Harvey. Yeah, we're watching a Steve Harvey video.
Yes.
And it just had so much to do with this concept that we're talking about.
Yeah,
right?
and it's powerful. I mean, think about it. Sometimes we dwell on the past or something, and we can't seem to move forward, and I can say it from experience just because of the way my life has been. And it's not about me today or about my story, but until I forgave and let that go is when I really started to enjoy life and live my life to its fullest potential.
Yeah.
And it was so powerful when I could literally see myself drinking that poison or that,
Yeah.
like literally see myself doing that so many times. And until I just let it go it's like then I'm drinking this fresh juice that gives me power and strength. It's
You
like
can move on,
like an energy
right?
drink, but this
Yeah.
time is for good because I learned to forgive and let things go.
So on that note, I have a question for Daniel.
Mhm.
I've actually never talked to you about this, so I don't know. But I want to know if you have kind of come to terms with what happened in the accident. What helped you kind of cope and come to terms with everything? And have you forgiven the person who was driving the truck? How did you get there, if so?
Yeah, I mean, I've never really like had any hate in my heart for the guy. I mean, I've never really asked about it or anything. My parents really took care of all that stuff, but I wouldn't wish nothing like this on my worst enemy. But
Yeah.
I don't really have a problem with it. I don't really dwell on it that much either because, I mean, I can't change it. So, like you said, just sitting on it and worrying about it's not going to change nothing,
Yep.
So I just take it a day at a time and worry about my future now, of course.
And worry about the present, of course, too, about what you can do, right?
Yeah, and I think what helps is, like, I had friends that, they always came and visit me, or even, like, after my accident, I'm like, man, I don't want to go out because, people are going to look at me, and they're like, nah, just come on, like, we got you, we got you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not trying to go to no bar or nothing because I don't want people to see me. And they're like, just come, we got you, we got you. And then finally, like, I just started getting out more, and, like, I'll go anywhere now. I really don't care, so.
Good for you.
It's just those slow steps, right? It's also
Yeah.
trusting the process a little bit in that mentality, right? But it also ties in with, the support, having friends, good friends that will push you to, maybe even get out of your comfort zone. Oh, man, I don't want to go out. Yo, come on, man, we got you, man. We support you. We're here for you,
Yeah, like, I remember when I first got back at the house, I don't think I went anywhere for, like, about a good 6 months. Like, we used to always go out and eat all the time, and I'm like, nah, I'll just bring me back something to eat. Like, I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going out looking like this. Like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And then finally, it just kind of just slowly started getting out more, and now I try to get out as much as I can.
Okay, I want to ask you a question kind of related to this. So I wanted to ask you, what are the things that motivate you every day to get up and to keep going, to go out with your friends if they want, if that's what you want to do? What motivates you?
Just try to getting to be better than I was yesterday. Just put myself in a better position. I try to surround myself with people that are, motivated too, like my trainer. I see him working hard all the time, so it kind of motivates me to go harder, and just keep grinding and just try to be better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I want to be better. I want to be stronger. But another thing that I'm starting to find that, it might tie to you too is what's motivating me is seeing the faces of the people that I inspire. I might touch somebody. Wow, man, I saw the Shine podcast, man. That was really cool. I want to be on it. Daniel's situation. That motivated me. But those people, seeing your little brother, that motivates me. Making him smile. Just us sitting there talking. That motivates me, man.
Yeah.
Just seeing that. So we'll be right back, talking more about this awesome concepts. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. So we want to start this next segment off with Daniel's 5 rules. So he has 5 rules for you guys. Number 1, work hard. Number 2, stay humble, while you work hard and you get all that success. Be consistent, laugh, and smile. So, Daniel, can you explain a little bit about what those 5 rules mean to you?
Yeah, so I used to, now that I got some time, I kind of started reading a little bit more. I used to hate reading, but
Yeah.
I read a couple of books, and I kind of like got the idea from a book. So
Oh, yeah.
I picked these 5 rules because I felt they helped me, or they describe me in a way that I can use these rules to be successful, and what I feel like I can use these in every day. So to work hard, I picked that one because my mom would always tell me, like, if you work hard, you can have whatever you want in life. Not just material things, but, just whether you're trying to reach a goal, workout, or just anything in general.
Yeah.
And then to stay humble is, a lot of people, they change when they start, getting
Getting
a
some
little
success, get a little money,
don't forget where you come from. And the third one is be consistent. I think it goes back with the trust the process. You got to be consistent with your grind. It's not going to happen overnight. And then the last 2, I think, to me are the most important. You know, smile and laugh. I think for a while I took life too serious, and I didn't enjoy the little things. And I hate how it took, you know, an accident like this to make me realize, you know, how sweet life is.
Yeah.
But now I just try to make sure that I do that every day, is laugh and smile.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mood changer, and it helps your vibes, and I think it's good.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. And I am like, it almost makes me cry of joy sometimes because, you know, unfortunately we have to go through be shaken by trials in life to really enjoy some of the gifts that we possess, one, and also to wake up and smell the roses kind of thing, you know? And here we are celebrating life now, celebrating your success. It's an honor to know you and hang out with you guys and get to know you through Alexis. You're always welcome to come back to the show. Like I said, if you ever think of another topic that might inspire others to shine and be a light in the world, please come back. Before we go, Alexis, did you want to say anything else? Because it's almost time to go.
Any final pieces?
Any final thoughts?
Yeah, no, just thanks for being who you are, and I'm so blessed to be able to call you my friend and to be able to watch your growth, and just again, like in the last 2 years I've seen you grow so much. I can't wait to see where you are, you know, another 2 years from now, and hopefully you're still pushing, and hopefully, you know, you got to experience a little bit of what wheelchair rugby nationals was like this time around, and hopefully one day you can end up there. You know, just trust the process and keep looking forward, you know.
Thank you.
And how about you, Daniel? Would you like to add something?
No, I would
to
say
our
thank y'all for
listeners?
inviting me. I had a good time.
Thank you. Thank you. For
Glad I
joining
know
us.
y'all now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
This is an awesome experience. I think we talked about some powerful stuff. Daniel, thank you for coming, man. You know, I think some people, like he was saying, they get a little bit of, you know, they get on the Shine podcast. You know, oh man, we made it, baby.
Ooh.
You know, we're on the Shine podcast. they get a little bit complacent. Oh, I made it. No, hold on, Daniel. We still got work to do, right? We still got work to do. We got to trust the process. This is a marathon, right?
Yes, sir.
So, I want to say one more quote before we leave.
Oh, of course,
We got a little
yes.
bit more time. So, just to leave you guys with a strong message. There is a reason that the rear view mirror is small and the windshield is big. So what does that mean? The windshield is big because that's where you should be focused on. The present and the future, and you should be excited about that. The rear view is small so you can learn. You can get a little lesson or two and never forget. Learn from your mistakes, right? And your failures and your losses and the tough times in life. But always remember, the windshield is where you should be looking for the 90%, right?
But check
90%.
your rearview mirrors when you're changing lanes.
Yes, be careful, guys. Yeah.
Yes, look at your past, kind of to see also the mistakes you made. They say history repeats itself. Well, the mistakes that we do repeat itself if we're not watching. So I
Yeah,
think that's
true
why it's
that.
important to kind of check back and see how we're driving in this
Absolutely.
path of called life. So remember, life is what you make it. So make it great, make it extraordinary. It's in our power to really change it or break it or make it grand, you know. So let's continue to shine in this world. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Adios,
blessed.
everybody.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Adios.
Everybody, peace sign, peace sign.
El programa
Thumbnail.
anterior fue un programa pagado